Hello. I may say T minus 19 hours for the India versus Pakistan encounter, which will happen tomorrow, February. We three are currently with you, but don't worry, Nikhil will join us live from the preview today, which is obviously India versus Pakistan. We've done kind of a semi-preview because 19 hours to go, you're going to see a resumption of a battle 8 years in the making, because the last time India and but it was a thrashing that you got. 180 runs in the final at the Oval. When India had dominated, yes, you had one loss prior to that in the match against Sri Lanka, but that yes, Pakistan suddenly got an edge, but then that was the last win Pakistan had against India in ODIs. Can you believe it? Because you lost 2 in the Asia Cup in 2018, lost 2019 ODI. That Colombo game, the Palakele game, was a no result. And now 2023 ODI World Cup. India versus Pakistan. Firstly, everybody in the host broadcasters have their reasons to say it is the greatest rivalry that'll be on show. Exclusively to Sports Today, and he had a different take on India versus Pakistan. Honestly, to you gentlemen, the floor. Can it truly be called the greatest rivalry? Is India versus Pakistan a rivalry for you? Because growing up, when I was now in the modern era, can you call an India versus Pakistan encounter a rivalry?
See, in terms of what we see on the field from a cricketing perspective, especially in the 50 over format. In T20, the margins are so fine that even Bangladesh can run you close, as they did in the shortest format that we saw in 2024. However, 50 over format is such that it requires persistent. What we've seen from Pakistan, if you ask me, Siddharth, in especially India-Pakistan context, they really outplayed India, but subsequently the occasions you mentioned, there's been only one team that's dominated. Not see the kind of competitive edge that exists in the shortest format between the two sides. You cannot, no matter what is happening in terms of results, forget the historical context to the two nations. And people say it's two continental giants going head to head, and there's so many other things in terms of superlatives that get attached. Cricketing point of view, but from the historical context that the two cricketing nations have, and that is where the weight of this rivalry comes from. That is where they also have a shared rivalry comes from there as well. So there is history at one point about the two nations, the political history of it. Nations, if there's one sport that the two of them really love and the one sport that they really excel in as well, it is cricket. So it's that conversation that happens around the two countries that brings the two nations together, and that adds much more weight than what you and I would like. May not be there, but the other two factors, like I mentioned, they add much more. They fuel this rivalry. There is cricketing rivalries have been run close by other oppositions and have been is actually more of a bigger rivalry. They're the ones who dumped you out in 2019. They're the ones who denied you the WTC as well. They're the ones in the semi-final as well who gave you a scare. So there are other teams who've kept pushing India much more than New Zealand, much more. Two countries and this particular match, it does make for a very good reading. It does make for a very good contest overall.
Yep.
I think on the field, definitely the margins have really now gone away from each other. I think the more difficult it is for them to win the game. And on the field, it's also, I think, until and unless they win the game up front, like they did in 2017, where they just finished the match up in just the altogether. But as the game continues to move ahead, you need to maintain that high intensity game with is lacking. We saw that when they played against New Zealand as well, and until and unless they do not carry forward that consistency and that impact and that intensity in the whole game, quality wise, yeah, definitely there might not be too much to differentiate between the two teams. But as far as other things are concerned, because quality isn't the only thing that wins you the game, that quality needs to be there with that consistency and for a longer period. And that also in a way sort of is counted in quality back for the whole 50 overs, and that just is just that is a problem with Pakistan, and that's why we saw them getting thrashed in the last 10 overs last time as well. Before that, they took those wickets. So until and unless they don't win, they don't dominate the game fully in the first 10, 15, 20 overs. Otherwise, I think the kind of quality India has, they can come back into the game at any point. So that is something that of the field is concerned. I think the legacy the game carries get so excited and want to watch this game. I know that most of the people know that there is no matchup as such on the field, but still people will turn up. Still there will be a lot of viewership, because everyone has seen this legacy since the very beginning, and for the latest generation, we've just watched it for ICC events. So if you're getting to watch India versus Pakistan once a year, I think that's also a reason why this legacy and why they're having bilateral series. I think it would have been died down till now, because you would have seen that difference in quality is way too much for actually to be interested for that one ICC event. But because that is not the case, just to see this by whatever margin, that excitement is still there.
See, for me, I've been through multiple eras. In the era when they didn't play each other for 15 years, the same thing, play only in an ICC event, or in those series. Then in 2004, when it thawed, the relations were warm yet again, India travelled to Pakistan. It was a historic tour. After 15 years, you went. 99 to India, but that came amidst a lot of hostility. I've also now play bilaterals against each other. The last white ball bilateral was 2012-13, and the last test was, in a way, you are saying that because you play once in a year, in that sense. Harshit's point is also pretty valid because of the legacy, and more, it is not a positive legacy that we have to look at it. I mean, it's been fueled with enmity, biasness. It's been fueled only by that. So that is why I think India versus Pakistan, yes, it was a rivalry, but there is hostility off the field and not on the sporting arena, not between cultural arenas. It is on the political arena. And India now are far more politically powerful to make a statement.
When you talk about the two rivalries or the two countries, India are now head and shoulders above in terms of cricketing muscle as well.
Yes.
Look where the two boards are as well. Look free in terms of their ill preparedness and how they were, just scrambling towards the 11th hour to get things ready. So all of that as well just widens the gap between the two countries. There was a World Cup that India hosted. There get to see where the two nations are in terms. India's got cricketing facility that Pakistan can't even compete with. There is a cricket stadium or more at least in every state of the country. Now there are 5. You don't know which match to allocate to which zone. There are those and in Pakistan there are 3 at best that you can count, maybe a 4th stadium. So that is how big when you talk about the cricketing muscle. See.
Yeah, I mean, as you pointed out, when was the last time a match was held in Peshawar? Long time back. When was don't know about the geography of the country. When was the last time a match was held in Quetta? We don't know. So that's why Pakistan at this point in time financially, and if you look at the clout of the BCCI, look at the financial. Okay, so Harbhajan Singh had a very interesting thing to say about it. You can check that interview out. He had a very unique take on India-Pakistan. Remember, this is right in the middle of India versus Pakistan battles when he was starting his cricketing career at that stage. The squad, when we know what our playing 11s are for India and Pakistan. Let's just see India.
We know India's 11?
I think, there will be.
Yes.
I don't think there will be a debate on any of the other spots. For example, Shubman Rohit, Virat, Shreyas, KL, Hardik, I think, Jadeja. Then number 9, a question mark. Number 10, I would say Harshit over Arshdeep, Mohammad Shami. So there is a debate over one spot, but there is a gone. Fakhar Zaman gone. Fakhar Zaman gone, meaning Pakistan, whatever psychological impact they wanted to keep, that's also gone. Because Fakhar Zaman was the last one. Even if you look at their debacle in 2019, he was the guy who at least got you a 50 against India. He's gone. He won you the champion. Skill alone. On pure skill. Should we consider this a no contest? On pure skill alone.
See, as far as Pakistan is no different that way. It eventually boils down to which team turns up from Pakistan. No matter what the 11 looks like right now, no matter what their form may be, their struggles, everything kept aside, you cannot say surely there's only one team winning it. At the start, yes, there's a favorite, but there is always thought in 2017 as well that there's only one team winning it, but look what happened. Tomorrow also the context is pretty much the same. On the eve, T minus 19 hours favorite, but Pakistan on a given day, you don't know who their hero is. Have used that, as we've talked about this match as well, that which player turns up for them, you don't know. And performance, you see, one out contribution that comes, it will be a Shaheen who will just set the stage on fire with the new ball, as was the case in 2021. And you saw what happened after that. You saw a Babar implemented by the others. It was a Fakhar Zaman back in 2017. One hero that they rely upon, but otherwise as a unit that they're able to challenge the Indian team. India, that's the difference. You will see a little bit from everyone. Yes, there could be one odd player that ends up picking a 5 or ends up hitting 100, but you Pakistan, they're mercurial for a reason.
I mean, before Shashwat, I'm sorry. It's so weird. I mean, I'm living, I don't know whether I'm in a time warp or anything. In those India-Pakistan match, we would be wondering, man, can we beat them? There would be Havan, there would be Puja.
So that was full of match winners.
Yeah.
You
It
know-
was always the contest of India's batters versus Pakistan's bowlers.
There was the
Waseems.
Imran, there was Waseems, there were the
Waqars,
Wakars,
Akhtars.
Akhtars, there was an
Saklain.
Inzamam. So many of these players packed in the same side, is a Pakistan side that has distrust, insecurity, lack of belief. All of that rolled into one is what Pakistan is right now.
Yeah, Nikhil also pointed out that because Babar, that is the main reason why he's only fighting for a
And
spot.
also he knows that his career is on the line. When he comes out to bat tomorrow, he will be knowing this. But his ODI career will be online because they will need a scapegoat if they end up losing this game, because it's straight going to be, they will be knocked out of the Indian team. But apart, the wicket is tending to get slower in the second innings because of the heat and just in general, that's how the conditions have played out in the would be the best case scenario for them, because if they are able to restrict India for 240, 250 by getting the top order wicket soon, then is the only batting first. I don't think any total would be safe in that sense against India. So the best they lose the toss, they end up bowling first, get rid of India's top order, which there is a possibility of that happening. Of brilliance in the last couple of games at 100 and then that knock against Bangladesh, but still his form is a little iffy. Virat Kohli hasn't been getting those runs since a very long time. So if by chance they making India stop at just 240, anything below 250, then I think it would be the best chance for the Pakistan side, and that is totally possible. But the only problem is that even if they get rid of the top order quickly, which they surely can, the middle order is also in form, the Indian middle order. That's why I was saying that the Pakistan team needs, that they have to be consistent all throughout the 50 overs, because it's not just the top order this time, it is also the middle. Best chances, bowl first, restrict the Indian team to 240, 250 and then try to chase that down, because if they end up batting first, I don't think at this point they are in the right mental stage to assess the conditions and safe on a given day.
Okay. Take you to the skyscrapers of Dubai or the palm trees of Dubai, where Nikhil is right. Skyscrapers, or if it's the palm trees you're surrounded by right now, and then we'll get to the cricketing aspect maybe.
I can't show you much, Harsha, because see, I'm against the light, so you'll see. There you go. This is better. You get
Yeah,
to see some
yeah,
beautiful palm trees. So it's this is the marina area of Dubai. So that's fancy place, high-end part of Dubai. Don't get a chance to be here very often. This also happens to be the balcony of a certain Harbhajan Singh. I'm in this hotel room. We had come to record the interview. To be up on sports today. But that is done and dusted. And time for us to, get back to the game. I know Dubai and the beauty around Dubai is well spoken of, but we frankly haven't had the time running around from one place to another, covering this India-Pakistan game. I'm hoping come match day, I'm guessing it's going to be chock-a-block. Already there are so many demands for tickets. So I know that once you get to the stadium, till now, you haven't really seen full 100% stadiums. But come India-Pakistan, you will see, if not 100, at least 80, 90% packed to the capacity stadium.
Yeah, I think Nikhil, if it is possible for you, can you move to a better place? Because I think your bandwidth is quite low, and that is why you're actually getting frozen on the screen. If it's possible.
Okay, I'll try and join again. Sure.
Yeah, so yes, we are having a bit of a technical glitch in Dubai at this stage, but yep, big interview coming up with Harbhajan Singh, which will be up shortly on.
Two of them, in fact.
Yeah,
Two of them. So you'll have his thoughts on various questions that you may have on your mind right now with regards to what is it that can give Pakistan a chance in tomorrow's match. What is it that India need to do different from that Bangladesh match? So two interviews, in fact, that Nikhil's done with Harbhajan Singh. You will see both of them up on Sports Day rather shortly. But just taking the conversation forward as far as this clash is concerned, there is one image though I saw on social media, and we put that up on Sports Day as well. Any doubts about Virat Kohli's availability for tomorrow? He was seen with an ice pack.
Oh
He's
yes,
definitely playing. He reached the ground 90 minutes before everyone else. It was 1 p.m. was local
Was it?
time.
Did he have that ice pack, or
Yeah,
was
yeah,
it after the net session that he got
I
hit?
think it was before. I think before the practice session actually started. So the practice session was about to start at 1 p.m. local time, but he was there even before 11:30. So he was definitely there, and players do have, like Sanjay Manjrekar feels it's too desperate a move to make, but Michael Clark
To be
Yeah.
there half an hour ahead?
No, 1 hour.
1.5
1
hours.
hour, 1.5 hour.
One and a
Okay.
half
1.5
hours
hours, yeah.
before.
Wow.
And it just looks a very desperate need, but Michael Clark feels that that's the best thing to go.
Interesting. My take is very different on seeing Virat 90 minutes before the scheduled session. How do you look at that,
I
Siddharth?
don't think it's anything different. I mean, it's a big.
Would you
game.
also attach the word desperation?
No. But hasn't Virat in big game situations come early, practiced with intensity, and then stayed with
I'm
it?
We have seen
reminded
Virat
of.
not coming for practice.
Yeah,
before
but I'm
one day
also going
minus
back
two
to
match
the
day.
2018 England tour. We heard it from him back then also that he'd be the first one for practice, to turn up for practice.
And even in the
And
series,
for a
BGT
player
also.
to turn up in advance, rather than desperation, I would look at that as want and desire to get back into form. If you practice, the only reason you're turning up for practice earlier than others is wanting to spend more time in the nets, and I don't see that. It is acknowledgement at least that I see from Virat Kohli, and you're trying to just improve on whatever frailties you may feel as a batter that are exposed, and there are a couple of them that we know about.
See, the problem is, okay, now every image that is taken, maybe with an ice pack, or see, he suffered a sprained neck.
Looks like a fancy ice pack, by the way.
Yeah, he had a sprained neck which kept him out of one Ranji game. He had a knee problem which kept him out of one ODI game. Now, if there is a team, because they don't have the quality spinners. Firstly,
That's good news
That
for
is
somebody
good
like a
news.
Virat, who you
Yeah.
would be, trying to assess who those bowlers that I can attack. What are those kind of bowlers, or who are those bowlers that I need to be wary of when he.
yeah,
676, 678.
678, 678 of 676 balls. 100 strike rate.
But one thing that we've been seeing with Virat Kohli since a very long time now, be it the BGT or be it the one Ranji Trophy, that game that he played, he wants to get off the blocks very quickly. And if that's not the case, it looks like he's a little unsettled. We saw that against Bangladesh as well. And then he wants to score those runs quickly. So I feel again the same thing with Pakistan as well. If he can survive the first 5 will start to wear off, and then Virat Kohli can really maximize his scoring abilities and actually get to that big score and get back into form. I think it's going to be just about those 5 to 7 overs, and I think even Pakistan would know that. They'll go all in for those 5-7 overs, and if they get rid of him, I think the match will again 7 overs are played nicely by Virat Kohli. Despite, I'm saying, even if he doesn't score those runs, if he realizes that he needs to be in the middle and then he can actually capitalize, then I think big score could be on the way for Virat.
It's sort of, eerie, funny, I don't know what you want to call this, that both players who comparison per se, but the two sets of fans across the border, on either side of the border have liked comparing a Virat and a Babar. And look at it, I was saying that it's either funny or eerie because you see there is one common thing that's ailing the two of them, and it's spin bowling. I was digging up the numbers for Babar Azam. Now look what New Zealand did very, very smartly. What New Zealand did is 57 deliveries from spinners as compared to 33 from pacers. Now, why is that? There is a reason for that. Because Babar Azam's strike rate against spinners from 87-88 has now dropped to 66.
Yeah.
That has been a huge drop. And what did he do? So, and he scored just about 36 runs from those 50 odd. Kohli on the other side, last 6 dismissals, all to spin. So, just
5
funny
right-armers,
in the
one-
way how both batters, star batters for their respective sides, no longer the captains, but the conversation still happens around them, and both being troubled by the same thing.
No, but I think we do talk about this fact that Pakistan has gone in with just one full-time spinner, but I don't think that's the case. And in
Aga
form
Salman.
of Salman Ali Aga. So I think that is also something that.
But
Virat
see,
will
the
have to
problem
see.
is, see, Aga Salman and Khushdeel are batters who can bowl. They are not bowlers who can bat. And that is where who can bat. Washington Sundar is a bowler who can bat. Hardik is a batter who can bowl. But Aga Salman, just look at his bowling stats and look at his batting stats. Miles apart. So that is why I think this is a huge issue for Pakistan. And that's why I think Virat coming back to form is more likely against Pakistan
Then Babar.
than Babar coming.
Because look who he'll have to face. He'll have to face an Aksar. He'll have to play a Jadeja. He'll have to play a Kuldeep who got him. Let's try and go back to Nikhil once more, who now not only has better internet but has a very good shawarma in his hands as well.
Yeah, I'm impressed. Yeah, Arshad, you could figure out from all this while what I'm eating. Yes, this is a shawarma that I've got. I'm in Dubai. Yeah, where
Exactly.
else you get shawarma?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In Dubai.
And I know the foodie side of you, so I knew you won't be ordering a chicken bowl over there. You would be going for a shawarma.
When in Rome, do as the Romans.
Exactly.
Say.
So whichever country I go to, only order that kind of food. So no Indian food for me. If I want Indian food, I'll go back to India and eat.
Exactly.
So
He's in
Yeah.
the Makkah of, in that sense, yeah. Foodie hub.
But in case you got a little sense of what's been happening on the cricketing pitch, the two sides have practiced today, have they? Could you give us a little intel on that?
yeah. The two teams did practice. I missed the Pakistan practice sessions simply because we had to do the interview with Harbhajan Singh. But the Indian team, they practiced regularly. The entire team was there, with the exception of Rishabh Pant, who's not keeping well. He's got a bit of a viral. Other than that, the entire team was there. They batted just in the order that they always bat. The top order was batting, and then the rest of them, all of them playing aggressive cricket. Once again, KL Rahul was one of those most aggressive batters on display in the nets. Again, it's the nets. Before Shashwat gets to my throat and catches it, he was playing very aggressively in the nets. But yeah, everyone, Hardik, people thought of injury concerns and all. At least he was there in the nets, batted for long. There were a lot of other drills as well. Virat now has been reported, came in early, about 40-45 minutes before the Indian team arrived practice. My only concern is, and it's good to see Virat come out and practice before the team could be there, and then of course continued the practice with the team, is that most of the time he was practicing to the side armers, practicing to net bowlers. One of them was that left arm fast net bowler, maybe for Shaheen Shah Afridi and so on and so forth. But my point is, his troubles are against spin, and playing genuine spin is going to be an issue, especially a leg spinner. I didn't see him spending too much time fixing that, because side arm cannot help you with that. You read the ball from the hand. You need to see the guile, the flight, and all of that. Side armers are basically for quick deliveries, slower deliveries. All the hard work that he's putting in does pay dividends. And as you mentioned, I agree, if there is one team where he's most likely to get runs, it'll be Pakistan. One, because of the history. And also two, because, not too many spinners. I know they've got two part-time spinners, but essentially one out-and-out spinner. So you'd feel confident if you're Virat Kohli. If you're a Virat Kohli fan, that he'll get runs. Harbhajan was there on our show. You'll see that interview on Coach Day where he's mentioned his prediction is that he feels Virat is going to get runs. And I think those predictions are pretty much based on that. But yeah, what I can tell you is this is very interesting. I got a call, while I was outside doing some videos, that there was an intense discussion between Gautam Gambhir and Ravindra Jadeja for about an hour-long discussion. And at the end of the discussion, there was a nice Jadoo Ki Jappi between Jadeja and the coach. And again, this is no news, but I'm just saying, if you were to read body language and speculate, could this be the Jappi that he's giving him after telling him that, listen, I know it's going to be hard, but you may have to sit down off the playing 11 tomorrow, and we might go in with KULDEEP, Varun Chakravarti and Akshar Patel. Could that be the conversation? It does seem like that, but that possibly could have been the conversation between the coach and the player. But as I said, that's speculative. So don't be surprised.
But it was just a few days back, Nikhil. There was another visual. I think this was from the England series last match.
No, this before the Bangladesh game.
You saw Akshar in conversation with Rohit Sharma.
Yeah, that was
Before the Bangladesh
game.
And people made a lot out of that as well. But I think we were all relieved that he did ultimately start. So I think the Indian cricket fan, while you report that, I think would also be hoping that Akshar, that Jadeja still plays tomorrow, and this conversation may be something to do with water sport maybe.
No. But they've not been doing any
that.
water sport. But again, that conversation was a casual conversation. This ended with a hug, and that's unusual, right? Why would you give each other a hug? If
See,
it's
the last time
tactical conversation, when you're talking about what to do, right, which I think Rohit and Akshar were having, just seemed a bit different.
Yeah. I'm just going to rewind. A couple of months back, the last time there were hugs exchanged in the Indian dressing room, somebody announced their retirement. I hope it's not the same.
No, I don't think so. I hope not.
Not in the middle of an ICC Champions Trophy.
It happened in the middle of a series, Siddharth.
But BGT bilateral series is different.
So you were telling us about Virat Kohli, but I was just also discussing this before you joined. Don't you think that this is the right way to go about the Pakistan team, the way Virat is actually practicing on sidearm specialists, on fast bowlers? Because as we know that Pakistan do not have those quality spinners. So if Virat Kohli is able to get through those early 5-7 overs against the Pacers, against Shaheen and Naseem, then it will be very easy for him to score those runs. So do you think that this real threat is not against spinners in this game, but against Shaheen and Naseem?
Yeah, but I mean, I agree, but have I seen Virat in trouble against fast bowler in white ball? Not so much. So let's say if he was not spending that much time against fast bowler, I think he could still tackle them, in my feeling, because he's been good against fast bowler. Plus, again, this is not a venue that is offering a lot to the Pacers. Could he have been in trouble? He can get out to a fast bowler, yeah, but I don't think that's his Achilles heel. I don't think that's the problem that he's going through at the moment. The problem, as we all know, is versus spin bowling. You saw that in the game versus Bangladesh. They also came with a pace attack. Much was spoken about the pace attack. He looked comfortable while he was playing them. It's only when the spinner came that they had issues. So he's practiced against fast bowling, which he should. I agree. Now I'm saying the problem area is not that at the moment. I just hope that even that one spinner or two part-time spinners don't pose that kind of a problem. So we'll be better suited with that,
Something that I've seen with Virat over the years, I remember 2015, before the Pakistan game, it was Mohammad Irfan from the Pakistan side who could have been a threat. So he was practicing with Sanjay Bankar, if I'm not wrong, was the batting coach at that time. So Sanjay Bankar was standing on two stools to match that height and that release point of a Mohammad Irfan, so that he could get that 10 feet angle which Mohammad Irfan actually would have generated in the match as well. So I think if we just go, I think Virat is practicing more towards the more situational wise, that what situations he's going to face, and maybe because the Pakistan team does not expose that much threat from spin to Virat Kohli, maybe I think it's still the Pacers, Naseem and Shaheen, who would be the real threat for Virat Kohli in that sense, because at the end of the day, Virat does not have the form. because right now, recently we have seen him struggle so much against spin. That's why we are feeling that maybe spin is the problem. But we also have to remember that balls leaving him angling outside off stump, those are also a problem for Virat Kohli in red ball cricket. And here I was listening to a few experts as well who said that ball is definitely swinging to begin with in Dubai, and maybe that is something, if Virat comes into bat early, somebody like a Naseem Shah can actually exploit that problem.
It could be, but then see, I would like to ask Nikhil one thing when it's like the weather in Dubai. Nikhil, the weather in Dubai now has gotten hotter in the day and it's slightly pleasant in the evening. Now, will you think that because the day is getting hotter, the conditions in Dubai might slow down even further, and that you will want to say that, okay, it will not be a typical wicket that we saw against Bangladesh. Are you seeing the wicket flatten out because of the heat, or do you think it's going to get more slower?
Also, just before you answer that, Nikhil, I believe it'll be a new pitch altogether, or have you heard otherwise?
It'll be a new pitch.
No, so what I've heard is not the same strip as the one they use against Bangladesh, another strip there. But you're talking about the weather, I think it's going to get more sluggish as the summer progresses. And that's not to say that 238 is the par total, because Bangladesh got below par. I think 260 is the par total, and teams would like to target that. The difference is, and why is it so sluggish here? If you look at the square, it's bald, completely bald. Yes, there are lots of pitches and strips, but even around that, you see the brown soil. So the grass is lush and green, only out 30 yard surface. So that square area is very, very dry. So what that does is, if the entire square is very dry, there will be no moisture in the pitch, and that's what's making it sluggish. Sometimes you can have a flat pitch, but if there's moisture around in the square, it helps. And that, I think, is one of the biggest reasons why you're finding batting very tough. As far as the swing is concerned, I think it's probably the place where you're getting maximum help for fast bowlers in the beginning. Now, if it's a new ball, then even if I'm playing in Timbuktu, there is going to be some sort of swing for the new ball, and it then deteriorates. But if I have to look at conditions across the world, out of all the places, this is the least conducive for swing bowling. Yes, it will be there for a little while in the beginning, as it has to be with the lacquer around in the new ball, but the least compared to most other venues.
Right.
Anything to suggest from the press conference that we could see Arshdeep Singh coming back into the 11 tomorrow?
Yeah, I was the vice captain who came today.
I don't think so. No, there was nothing of that sort mentioned.
Were you able to ask the
I
question?
don't see any changes to the team. I was a bit worried that Kuldeep Yadav could be the guy that could go out of the playing 11, because Indian teams generally tends to do that with him. But you know what? If they do that, we still don't know the 11 that they go in with. Mr. Gavaskar has said play 4 spinners. I don't think India will do that. Even those 3 spinners, Jadeja goes out and Varun comes in, okay, maybe bat with 7 batters, maybe that's a possibility, I don't know. But for God's sake, don't put Kuldeep out, because I was speaking to a few Pakistani journalists, and they said from Pakistan's point of view, there are only 2 bowlers that the Pakistan team fears: Jasprit Bumrah, Kuldeep Yadav. Jasprit Bumrah is out injured, and if you don't play Kuldeep in this game, the Pakistan team is going to celebrate even before the game starts. And I agree with him. So I hope they don't do that sort of a tactic where Kuldeep goes out. I know he wasn't really impressive in the first game, but I think you need to continue with him. So that's one area I think no changes. And fast bowling also, I don't see any change. Coming to the question that Shashwat wanted me to ask, I can only ask that to the coach or the captain, right? But as I said, I don't think Shashwat was there. I know what the answer to that is going to be. It's going to be that, listen, we needed to have a left-arm fast bowler in the squad. So when Jasprit, Bumrah and Shami were there, we got Arshdeep as the left-armer. we didn't need a Harshit. That did not mean that, Arshdeep is ahead of Harshit. But once Bumrah went out, Harshit came in. So they've got the left arm option of Arshdeep in the team, but there was no hard and fast rule or this thing written that Harshit was ahead of Arshdeep. And you know what I mean? So the left arm variation that Arshdeep he included in the 50, they would have started, and you would have kept Arshdeep for if you really need a left arm option on an occasion. But now that Bumrah was out, they got Harshit in, and they kept the left arm option in Arshdeep, but there was no hard and fast rule as to who starts ahead, Arshdeep or Harshit in the 11. I may still want Arshdeep to start. Still think he's the better bowler. And he uses the slow ones also really well, which are deliveries very conducive here. But I think the Indian team is looking at it slightly differently.
Yep. So I think, as I said, there is only a semi question mark on one spot. There is a question mark on one spot. Otherwise, the rest of the playing 11, when you look at it, 9 out of 11 are selected. Now, if Kuldeep is not picked, he takes a 5-wicket haul, gets dropped. He doesn't take a wicket, yet he gets dropped after he had the best economy, by the way. He had the best economy in the India versus Bangladesh encounter. He held the game up in the middle overs. 4.3. Yeah, he held the game up in the middle overs. What more do you want? As it was pointed out in the game versus Bangladesh, what grounds, Zakir Ali and Tauhid Hridoy both batted sensibly. Didn't give the wickets to the spinners, and that's why if you drop a Kuldeep Yadav, you've already gotten his confidence rock bottom. You're going to dent it even further. What are you going to do? The same reason why Kuldeep Yadav drifted out of a certain franchise is because he was not getting that much of confidence. He has slowly but surely was getting marginalized out of the team. That's why he jumped ship and went to a franchisee, and even to another franchisee, where he's getting a longer run, where he's improving. You do the same thing here, his confidence will be shot. So plain and simple, play Kuldeep, keep the Varun experiment as an experiment for later, if you want. But if you do that against Pakistan, then I'm sorry. Either you're taking his confidence very lightly, you're taking the opposition too lightly, or you just don't seem to care. That is what I would look at it in this entire Kuldeep situation. Don't play Varun. The clamour of, I don't know why the clamour is growing. Play Varun Chakravarti, play Varun Chakravarti. Whereas Kuldeep was far ahead. It just beats me. Why would you want to play Varun Chakravarti in that sense?
Yeah. Just a question, Nikhil, on the practice session in the build-up to the Champions Trophy as well. Also ahead of the Bangladesh game, we saw there were a couple of long practice sessions, some of them lasting about a good 180 odd minutes, excess of 3 hours also on a couple of occasions. Is the Indian team taking things lightly today in comparison, or the intensity is much the same? Okay, we'll try and get back to Nikhil again. I understand that his network has again gone for a toss, but we'll give you more details on that practice session as well. I believe Nikhil could be doing a story from Dubai on that. But in terms of what we've seen from the two teams so far, the one match that they've both played, the mood is contrasting.
Yep.
It is a downcast Pakistan up against an upbeat India now.
It is.
For India, there is, and I liked what Harbhajan Singh said, that India have a lot more to lose than Pakistan. We heard it from Haris Rauf yesterday. Yeah. It's a do or die situation for them. Now they don't have Fakhar Zaman either. So in all of this, I see now the mountain becoming bigger and bigger now for Pakistan. If there was a Fakhar Zaman, I could have possibly given them some sort of a chance of getting on top of that mountain. But right now, I think there's just too many things to be done, and I don't know who it is if they are chasing in excess of about 280, and that I think will be a very good total, the highest successful chase over here. In fact, the average first innings total is about 252 in Dubai. So anything that goes beyond there, in fact, let me just go back to what Rizwan had said. I'll take you back to what he said after the New Zealand loss. We're looking at something around 260. Now, this is the psyche I was talking about the other day. Remember, Sashu, we were talking about it, how Pakistan operate in a certain periphery, how they feel comfortable in a certain zone. I believe if this Indian team again is to bat first tomorrow, and that I think will be the liking of Rohit Sharma, as he said at the toss against Bangladesh. Now, if they're able to get anything around 280 or in excess of that, I think it's panic stations already. Even before you start the second innings, this is again a total that Pakistan don't want to see. The one little chance that they think, or that boost of or that dose of confidence that they'll get, is if they're able to get some wickets at the top, restrict India to about 240, 260, anything around that is when I think Pakistan have a chance. Otherwise, I think I'll be willing to call the match at the halfway stage if India get in excess of 280.
But yeah, that's how I was about to say that is something that if India wants to absolutely remove any chances of Pakistan winning the game, then India could actually put them into bat first, because I don't think Pakistan will have the acumen to actually understand the conditions and have the quality, because they'll just
to be able to know what a safe total is.
What a safe total to is. But
I think you're taking a bit of a risk there, Sashwat, if you do that.
You're not taking a risk, because I don't feel that Pakistan could actually assess the conditions and reach to a good enough total. But yeah, if they do, then India will be on the back foot.
You know, it comes with
India
a bit of...
also play on their strengths here, because India has done well batting first. So I think that is something India should continue to back.
See, Pakistan on the catch-22, because in 12 years that you've played, you've lost 9 games and you won only 3. The 3 that have come, 2 have come while defending a total. 1 has come while chasing. So the problem for Pakistan is that they have no confidence in their batting. There is no confidence except for Salman Agha and
Rizwan.
And maybe to a certain extent
Kushdil, because he got a good knock.
He got a good knock, but again, Kushdil, there was no pressure. So he just swung the bat and he managed to ensure that, yes.
Yeah, he's not going to be scoring the kind of runs and the manner in which he scored those runs again and again.
Yeah.
That happens once in about 6-7 innings.
Karachi was different and Dubai will be different because of the longer boundaries and also because of other things. So, skill-wise, Pakistan are miles behind India. The pressure factor, when you look at it, see, if India's batters have a horrendous day, I mean, what happened in Palakele? That time, the Indian batting depth got you out. Kohli fell for a duck for the first time.
That's something we've seen Pakistan, if they end up picking wickets early. We saw that the same thing in New York as well. I know formats are different, but their only chance is because their strongest suit is their fast bowlers, as of now. So the only way is that they end up wickets early, try to restrict India for a less score and then chase that down. And a less score, what I mean is that I will only give Pakistan more than 50% if they restrict India for about 240 to anything under 250.
Right, okay. So let's take a couple of comments. I mean, yes, we are observing that also freaking awesome that Australia has lost. Sushant has got some problems. He's saying that Pakistan has nothing to lose. So unnecessary pressure will make India lose. I mean, and one more, even if we lose, why to make it big issue? Sports is all about win and lose. Philosophical. We will lose this time, but don't create chaos after that. Otherwise, you lose.
Either win or learn. No lose.
See, even if you win, you're going to hype it up. Even if you lose, that's how extreme. Sport is all win and lose, but you forgot to add one very important word here, Sushant. Extreme. Sport is about extreme winning, extreme losing, and the extreme joy and sorrow that it brings nowadays in the current world at this stage. So, freaking awesome is saying, more than the wicket, it's about how they pace their innings in the middle. Sensible innings from them this time. I think he's talking about England, Australia, but Palakele. But India still managed 266.
Yeah, because of the middle order.
The batting depth again.
Exactly. That's why
7 batters
problems
for
are even more.
7 batters for Pakistan, 9 batters for India potentially. That's where I think Pakistan, how much will they be able to maintain the pressure? I don't know at this point in time. So, yep, we are looking at building up for India versus Pakistan. Is any update that we have got? Is Nikhil joining us from Dubai? Or
I don't think so.
I think the network really turned turtle there. So
yeah.
It's a really bad situation. So freaking awesome. Wind Park is an uneven contest. I have no clue how they are placed in the same group in all ICC tournaments. Artificial hype placed in the same group because of huge revenue generation, fooling fans. Well, we have given our inputs on that also. And Rajesh Radhe, Nikhil is not the pitch curator, so how can he give information on the pitch? But if it's
one thing, Rajesh, I can add, if you're joining us right now, we asked Nikhil if it's going to be the same pitch or a news strip. We know it's the latter. So what live does this news strip have? We'll have to wait for the pitch report tomorrow.
and it's going to get hotter, I think it'll be a sluggish wicket. On if it's a day-nighter and night, remember 6:30 there.
And there is no dew right now. We
Yeah.
still haven't heard any reports of there being dew. So the ball may just grip in the second innings even more.
Yep.
So it still looks like a situation where you would want to bat first after winning the toss in Dubai.
Yep. For Pakistan, I think. But Pakistan, if they win the toss, will they bat first or will they chase? I think will prefer to chase.
But they should be batting first. Why? If you have any chance of enabling your part-timers in Khushdil, in
But this venue has given you success while chasing. Past suggests that.
yes, you're right. You're right. No.
Yes.
In fact,
Don't mistake.
Yes, you're right. You're right. Teams batting first have won 14 times as compared to them losing 19 times.
Yes. And India have won both games in Dubai against Pakistan while chasing. And they won against Bangladesh chasing. So that is why I think Pakistan are in a very precarious situation. I don't know. If they bat first, their bowlers will be
I
not.
think
But
the
as-
best chance is that they bowl first.
You bat first, give yourself chance, believe in yourself firstly, and you enable. See, if there is no, Siddharth dew out there and the ball begins to grip, then you want to enable. How is it that that these part timers get some sort of contest, if they're able to make some sort of contest or challenge the Indian batters, if they get assistance from the pitch and the conditions? When does that happen? Towards the second half. You really think an Abrar can just on his own run through the Indian batting? No, he will need support from a Khushdil or a Salman or whosoever is given the ball then. So for that to happen, you need to be bowling second. So if I'm Rizwan, I would want to believe that these batters that I have, 7-8 of them, whatever, that I go,
Yep.
put up a decent total.
Yep, indeed. So yes, it's less than a day now that we are going to see India versus Pakistan square off in Dubai. It's going to be, I mean, the rivalry has died down a bit, but then when it's India-Pakistan, on that day you'll see a lot of pujas, a lot of havans being made. Unless they reach the final, it's going to go to the next level.
You will see crackers as well. Where they're burst, on which side of the border, one cannot say.
Yeah,
because
indeed.
it's sport after all and anything can happen. Speaking of that, Australia are, by the way, now just about to, you're seeing some sort of
I think
recovery
it is a
there, but they
review.
may
It's a
just have
review.
lost a third wicket. We're still
Could be,
looking for a confirmation on that. Maybe not actually.
But actually, it is England's game to lose. They're in a very good position. And if England win, then boy, this Group B is thrown wide open, because we have done a video. The games in Rawalpindi are really going to hurt certain teams here because of the weather for Group B and Group A. So do check that video out. And so let's build up more for India versus Pakistan.
Of course, there is plenty more. In fact, tomorrorow you're going to be seeing reports come from across India. You're going to be seeing reports come from Dubai. So you're going to be loaded with a lot with regards to this mouth-watering contest coming up tomorrow. For whatever it's worth, it is still a mouth-watering contest. You can't really contest that.
Contest that indeed. So from me, Harshit and Shashwat, it is bye-bye, and Nikhil will come with an interview with Harbhajan Singh.
Two of them. One of them already up, the other one coming up. A special
very
treat for you guys. So stay tuned. Subscribe to Sports Today if you haven't done so already. And it's the big day that you had chalked out on the calendar, the day that the schedule was announced. It's upon us. Just a few hours away now, and we here at Sports Day will be delighted to cover that match for you. So join us tomorrow. Always look forward to your thoughts. For now, it is not Nandri yet because we return from the studio after the match between England
and Australia. The Ashes
and Australia is done. So we're going to be returning in just a couple of hours. So take good care. Bye-bye. Subscribe. Tap that bell.